All right, CME family, Betwabu, Benabetus, Betwabu. I trust everybody is doing well and all is well. Grand Rising, Great Awakening, Kingdom greetings. How's everyone doing? How's your day going? I trust that you are all well. All praises to the divine, all praises to the divine creator. Yes, all praises to the divine creator. We give him praise and glory and honor and majesty. Yes. All praises. How's everybody? How's the day going so far? All praises. Eternally grateful. Yes. Okay, I think I am a little bit dark inside this. I think I may have to change my lighting position. I don't too much I like how dark this look, but nevertheless, we give praises to the Most High. Yeah, let me see what I could do to change the lighting. Hey, maybe I may have to take you up. How's that? Yeah, that look a little bit better, I think. Just a little bit better. I don't know. Anyhow, we give praise. CME. That's good. Good to have you. Good to have you. You know, I trust that the day is going well. Okay. Most High, Divine Creator, Tatanzami, Mutumba, Pungo, Tolendo, Sunina, Nanikuswa, Congo, Guide. It's not of any strength of my own. I empty myself of myself, that you may fill me, that I may be able to speak. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. Let your people not hear me, but hear you through me. Oh, Tatanzambi, Guy, you are the divine creator, and we just hallow your name. We say Kimbo, Natanzambi, Yamazulu. Oh, thank you for your presence. Muhanda, thank you. Thank you. Empty me of everything that I know, that I will continue to be a vessel, an oracle that you would use this hour, this season. Use me at this very moment. You asked me to come and speak to your people. And I don't know. I don't have the words. So I'm asking you to give me the words as I open my mouth, as you would always do. Give the divine revelation, insight, questions. And I thank you. And I say, Ingeta, family. I hope the lighting is a little bit better. Family, I know it's not only me, because I had no intentions, as you, no, you would not know. I had no intentions of coming and doing any live today. Um, I had no, I had my meditation, and there was nothing to come. And then when I was preparing myself to have dinner, the Most High said, go and speak to my people. I think I need to. And I was like, what is it? What's going on? What's happening in the realms of the spirit that your people need to come to grips with, because I believe that majority of the times when the Most High give me a word, when I get a download like this, there are many people that are asking the same questions. There are many people that are still trying to figure out. And so that's why I know that something heavy is happening in the realms of the spirit. Something heavy is happening, is transpiring and about to transpire. Some serious revelation and downloads are getting ready to be released. The more and more we seek, the more and more questions we start to have. The more and more we go down the rabbit hole or the rabbit trail or whatever trail we decide to go on, the more we seek information or we seek knowledge, the more that is revealed to us. And I believe that the Most High is about to release reveal more information to us than some of us are prepared to handle. I don't think some of us prepared to handle the information that the Most High is about to reveal to us. And so I think he's trying to prepare our hearts for these other information, because yes, I know and I identify with the Bantu. I do. I identify with the Bantu message. I do. I know we are a chosen set of people. I do. There's no question in terms of that. But I believe that the Most High allow us to come into this truth so it will prepare us for other things that will be revealed. Other things that we would have not accept if we were still in Hebrew Israelite or if we were still in Christianity. You understand, there are some things that we would not be open to. And that is why it brings me to this place now. If you see, the question is, how did we get there? And they say, how did we get here? How did we get there? The 7 continents. The more we seek, the more questions. How did we get there? How did we get to the 7 continents? How did we become the indigenous peoples of the Americas? How did we become the indigenous people, the Aborigines of South America? How did we become the Aborigines of Australia? How did we become the original people of Japan and China and all these other places? How did we get there? How did we get there is the question. You could find a Bantu in every nation. You could even find a Bantu that is non-melanated. Yes, you can. You can find a Bantu that is non-melanated. And that's why we have to be very, very careful in our attack in this awakening with Muzungus, as we will call it here on the continent, or Caucasians as we know them in the diaspora. We have to be very careful, because we are finding that there are Caucasians that has Bantu blood inside of them. Yeah. How did we get there? How did we became the first in the Americas before what they call the indigenous Indians and stuff like that, the Aztecs and the Incas and Caribs and stuff like that. How did we were there before them? How did we get there before them? And then what happened to us? You see the questions? Then what happened to us? How come we then was off the scene and then they were on the scene? The Lucayans, the Arawaks. Some things aren't adding up. Some things sounds good on paper and sounds good as we regurgitate what we were taught. It sounds good. We sound very intelligent. When we use the Google map to point out this is where Jerusalem is, and we use Google map to point out this is where the Jordan is, and we use Google map, which is their system. I understand, yes, we say use what the enemy give us to do. But if they could lie to us about who we are, how many other things they can lie to us about? And I keep on saying this. And so family, what came in my spirit, please, don't take the rock and throw it at me. But I guess what, my skin is thick enough to handle whatever comes at me any which way. But what came in my spirit as I was preparing myself to come and do this, I was really just meditating on this because I'm like, how did you give me this message? How did we get there? Why this is so much in my spirit? And then the thought of the 7 continents came. They tell us we have 7 continents, right? And the 7 continents is literally where all of the indigenous people are. That's where we are. We are scattered, or quote unquote scattered abroad. Could it be? This is a question. This is a question. There's more. The more I seek, the more we seek, the more questions. This is a question, family. And I'm going to open up for dialogue. I will read in the chat. Please, let's have a conversation on this broadcast here. Let's have a conversation. You may know some things I don't know. You may get a download that I did not get, but this is the download I got. You know the story. They tell us about the sons of God sleeping with the daughters of man. Let's think. Let's put on our logic cap now. Let's put on our analytical cap now. Let's get out of religion. Let's get out of just being Bantus. Let's now think. Let's dive deeper. They tell us the sons of God slept with the daughters of man. My question there is, could it be that these sons of God that slept with daughters of man, now mind you, listen, we may have thought or tried to paint a picture that these daughters of man were Caucasian, but we were the occupiers of the earth, and they said these daughters of man was beautiful in their sight, so there have to be some, what you call it, melanated people. Yes, So when we think about it being melanated women, beautiful, fierce women, could it be that these sons of God that came down and slept with the daughters of man took those daughters to those 7 different regions and populated those regions? Because my question is, if we question where did the Caucasians come from, CME greetings to all of you. Much love to you, my beautiful queen sisters, my king brothers. Much love to each and every one of you. You understand? Let's talk. So we say, where did the Caucasians come from? We say, oh, they came out of the Caucasus Mountain. I guilty of saying the same thing too, right? Then you get the revelation that we created the Caucasian because everything come from out of us. Now, my question is, how did the Chinese get the list in their eyes? How did the Japanese get their list? How did the what you call those people now? The Philippines get their looks. How did the Aborigines of Australia get their looks? How did the African Americans and them got their look? How did the quote unquote Indians get their look? How did us in the Caribbean get our look? Where did our distinct and set apart features come from? Where did our distinct and set apart features come from? Could it be? I'm only asking the question because why? How did we get there? How did we get to Japan? How did we get to China? How did we get to these places? We quote, we tell, we regurgitate what they tell us. We travel. We were the ones who invented boats and ships and all these different things. Yes, I believe. But I have the other question of another mind. I'm not losing it. I'm just telling you that in meditation and time, you start asking these questions. How did we get these distinct looks? You know a Chinese by their eyes. You know the Japanese by their features. You know the Indians by their features. You know, we know everybody by their features. Without them opening up their mouth, we can look at them and say, you from XYZ. How did we get there? Could it be? I'm just asking the question, mind you. I'm just asking the question. Could it be that those angels that came down and slept with the daughters of man, supposedly, allegedly, were all had distinct different looks, and that's how these different races came about? Because we know that all came out of black. We know that the daughters of man that they looked at were us melanated queens. We know that everything you could trace back to the female. We know this. They have already been scientifically proven that every race under the sun has a gene out of the melanated woman. Distinct and set apart. So that has been proven. But now my question there again, because if a white man goes with a melanated woman, you can see that melanated child. If a Chinese man go with a melanated woman, you can see that melanated child. If a Japanese, an Indian, a Korean, a Philippine go with a melanated woman with a black woman, you will know. Yes, they may have the list in their eyes and all the distinct fingers, but the child will be melanated. I'm just asking the question, family. Let's put our analytical caps on. Let's put aside our irreconcilable differences in terms of religion and Bantu and Nilot and what you call a Kushite, and because how all of this come about? How did Nilots come about? How did Kushite come about? How did Bantus come about? How did Edom? How did we all get these different? How did we get there? I'm just asking the question. Family, you could, share in the chat. The more we seek answers, the more questions we come up with. We're still waiting for the Messiah, not even messiahs. Everybody is waiting on the Messiah. And even Masindisi or the JC that they gave us told us there will be more, many more. Hold on. Simone Toko even said and was quoted, there will be many more like him. Many more like him. What was Simone Toko like? Everybody knows Simone Toko, how they chop him up and he came back together, how they sprinkle his body apart and he came back together, how they pull his heart out of his body and he came back to life. Everybody know the story about it. Even the Mzungu is telling the story about Simone Toko. How did we get here? How, family? The more we seek, the more questions. Okay, last time I did the live, I said this. We keep on saying we are spirit beings having this earth experience, right? Spirit beings having this flesh experience. My question still again, how? How did we? Family, help me. These questions that are going on in my head. Could it be that those angels had all distinct and different looks? Because when you think about, watch this, when you think about how they describe angels, one said they have 4 different faces. The next said got eyes all over the place and all this different stuff. But anybody ever question if these angels, these beings, had the ability to shift and become Orientals, Chinese, Indians? You understand what I'm saying? See me, everybody. Beautiful sister Andrea. Good to have you, my king brother Leo. Good to have you, Andrea. And oh goodness, good to have all of you. Questions. How did we get there? How did we get to the 4 corners of the earth? How did we get to South America? How did we get to North America? How did we get to Asia? And how did we get to Europe? And how did we get to you? We know that life began on the continent of Africa. We know it. It's no question of the foundation. I told you the foundation is sure. The foundation of where we came from is sure. The question now is, how did we get from the foundation from Africa to the other continents? How did we get there? How did we gone from having our African features to having a Chinese feature, Indian feature? You understand? How did we get there? How, family? Can we talk? Can we? Yeah. We have all these, spiritual answers, and you understand. But when you really think, when you put on your analytical cap, when we put on our analytical cap and start thinking, and we ask questions, the more questions we have. Okay, our sister says she believed through the slave trade. For me, we know that they took some of us in the slave trade, but even before the slave trade, we were there. Before the slave trade, we have black samurais, and you understand. And there's history. I don't know. I gotta find it. There's a history if you want to look into it. Even the area called California, that is an island. That even isn't what you call it, a piece of the land of America. That's an island which had black women, black indigenous women controlled that island that they say had Amazon type built. Just women lived on the island called California. And there's history to prove it. But America claim it as they make us to believe that it's attached to North America, but it's an island by itself. Now they got a bridge maybe going on and doing the connecting, but there are all maps to point out that California is an island by itself. I shared that view. I shared that view too, Richardson. I shared the view that the land mass was. Let me tell you something. Could you believe? I'm glad you said the land mass was one, right? But when you really pay attention to the land mass is still one, with the separation of, I think that's what you call it down there, Australia, down, and you understand me? But when you go from South America, go all the way up to North America, come around on the coldest of days, the ice freezes between America and Russia. You could still make your way around, and there's somebody draw a line there, a road that you could take away from Russia, come all the way down to South Africa. You could drive without leaving the land from Russia straight to South Africa. Not only that Swiss Canal we know is man-made. So they did the land to put that Swiss Canal inside there and stuff like that. It's just so much. Yeah. We traveled. We went everywhere. But like I said, it was just a thought that was in my mind in terms of the script that they give us, in terms of the scripture saying that the angels, the sons of God, I should say, the sons of God, slept with the daughters of man. And those daughters was not Caucasian. Those daughters was melanated. Yeah. So those daughters was melanated. Those sons slept with them. And I don't believe, we say they was wiped out inside a flood. Anyway, so if we trying to, if a lot of things that we know that they wrote, really, I know that Jesus is not real. You understand me? We know that he's a fictitious character. He's the son of perdition. I got that revelation in 2019. In terms of the Jesus, and we know the meaning of the word Jesus is earth pig. So yeah, we know that he's not real. So we know that they did a lot of underhand work in terms of the scripture. They did a lot of underhand work with the scripture. So that's why I'm saying this question just came, and just for us to put on an analytical cap. We say we travel. The continent with all the land was one, But my question there again is we travel, but how did we now have these distinct different looks, like the Chinese, like the Japanese, like the Indians, you understand, like the Australians, when all the indigenous people was melanated first. We traveled to these places. Then we can't say, oh, it was the climate change our features also to give us the list eyes and stuff like that. How did the eyes features change? How did the bone structure change? You see the questions? How did all of those things physically change? How did the height change? And you understand me? You had the pygmy people. How did all these things change? That's, yeah. So foundation is we were the people that we are the people, the black, that's the foundation. The melanated was the original people of this earth. We were given dominion, we were given charge, we were given to occupy. My question there again now is what changed our structure, our features? It ain't just the cold, the cause the pigmentation of our skin go from black to white. Something else occurred. Something else occurred. So, could the story they gave us about the sons of God sleeping with the daughters of man, which is melanated us, melanated women, is where the the changing of the race, the structures and the DNA and how could that be where the change came? That's the question I asking right there. Yeah. How did we get Nilots and Cushites and you understand? If only yeah. How did we get these people? How did we get so many different streams of people in the earth? You could come right here. You could come here to Kenya. You have what? 42 tribes? 42. And you could tell there's a distinct difference in all of them. Everybody have a different look, a different way. Yeah. That's something to make us think. So that's all I have to share with you, family. I really, I love each and every one of you. I am thankful for you. Thank you for coming in and listening in. Um, the more we seek, the more questions we will have. And we have to be open for when the divine, the Most High, reveal to us the things that may have transpired and occur. Because if we say we're living in a world without end, that's what they tell us. We don't, it's a lot. Yeah, it had to be less people in the beginning. And so now, so how did we, there's less people in the beginning, yes. Okay. But we still populated every area of this earth. Anywhere you could go to Timbuktu and you will find that black people was there first. You could go to Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia. You will find that blacks was there first. You go to China, you find that black was there first. every color, a black, a Chinese man, a Caucasian man, an Indian man, a Russian man could sleep with a black woman and that child gonna be black. That's what I'm trying to. That's you can have a Portuguese man, a Brazilian man, what you call it, sleep with a black woman. The child gonna be black. But the distinct thing is those features, those listening in the eyes, the look that they have is gonna be there. That structure. Yeah. So let's continue to seek the Most High. Let's continue to do diligence, and that's why I say, please, family, do not become so chosen seed minded that you forget the love. You forget the love that you still must extend to each other. Whether it's we are Bantus, we know what we know, but the other races, we must still show love. Because it's by our love they will be drafted in. It's by our love they would understand who we are. It's by our love all things will come together. It's by our love. And that's it. We don't love people for them to love us back. We love them and we keep it moving. And that's what we do. We do not love people for them to love us back. We love them. We keep it moving. And that's it. So I trust that something I may have said has resonated in your spirit and help you with the questions you may have. You may have some of the same questions too. How did we get to these other places? How did we get to China and Russia and all these different places? How that we became how we were the indigenous people of all of these lands? How did we get there? Outside of, yes, we traveled by boat, we were inventors of all those different things, but we were still there. When we got there, we were still there. We meet our own people there. Let me put it like that. Okay, awesome, my beautiful sister in Belgium. Good to have you. When we traveled by boat, we met our people there. No matter, we were everywhere. How did we get there? How did we get there? When Christopher Columbus came, and we know what you call it. They say the Indians. He met us. India, anyway, I don't even want to go there, but we know the story behind them. They hybrid also, you understand, but nobody can say that. Anyway, so enjoy the rest of your day, your afternoon, whatever time of the day it is for you. For me, it is 8:09 for me. So it must be 12 noon for some of you, 11 for some of you, 6 in the evening for some of you. We in so many different time zones, but I love each and every one of you. Trust you me, family. I want us to live. You understand? Don't just exist. Don't be just exist so waiting for the end to come. No. Live in the moment, live in the day. Don't live in your past, because the past, nothing you could change in your past. Don't live in the future. The future will cause you anxiety. Live in today. Live in the right now. Live in the moment. Make plans, yes, for tomorrow, but live today. Live today. You understand? You know, some of us, we stop dreaming. We stop we stop having expectations. And we just like in this place where we're just waiting for the world to crash, waiting for the systems to crash. When in actuality, the system as we knew it has already crashed. We now got to create a new system for ourselves. Think about this. And I can really leave you after this. I just need you to think about this. Is the Persian Empire still around? It may be around, but it be around in the form of something else. The Medes and the Persians. We talk. We is the hold on. Let me get a little bit closer. Is the Mali kingdom still around? Is what's the queen name in Zinga? Is that kingdom still around? What am I saying to you? Kingdoms will rise and fall. But we say this is going to be the last kingdom that's going to rise, which is the Bantu kingdom, right? What are we doing? What are we doing to help the Bantu kingdom rise? Can I ask that question? What are we doing to help the Bantu kingdom rise? How are we vibrating? What are we putting in place? It's like I'm still seeing the same dogma. That the Hebrew Israelites had. I'm seeing the same in this Bantu, same time too. Family, what are we doing to build? Remember, let's use the story they give us with Jeremiah. Jeremiah or Nehemiah? Nehemiah. Nehemiah saw the ruins of the kingdom. And Nehemiah went to the system, to the king. That's the system that represents the system. Let's look at it as an allegory or whatever have you. He went to the system and took from the system, asked for things from the system to rebuild the kingdom. Can we build? Can we use the system? Can we use the system to rebuild the kingdom? The more we seek, the more questions. How did we get there? The 7 continents. How did we get there? How did we get there? How did we get the distinct look of the different set of people on the earth? Whether you're Asian or here on the continent in Africa, or because even here on the continent, you have so many different distinct looks. As I said before, just in Kenya alone, 42 different tribes and 42 different distinct looks. Let's use the system to rebuild the kingdom. Let's try and get these borders, boundaries, these cages that they put us in called countries. Let's get those. They're the things we need to start fighting, because talk about the slave trade. When the slave trade occurred, we did not need passports. We did not need anything to go to these various places. But now the colonizers know there was going to come a time when we can wake up and want to come back home. So what they do? Make it impossible, create all of these various organizations, and these organizations make our countries sign treaties with them that in order for people to visit your country, they got to have a passport, they got to have this shot, that shot, the next shot, this medicine, all these different things, visa. We have to pull them down. We have to pull them down. We have to pull them down. That's how the kingdom is going to begin to be reestablished. And the prison lines they give us called borders will be able to be destroyed. Because when we vibrate high, when we say something, when we work together, Nehemiah didn't let Tambalet and Tobias stop him. He had a sword in one hand, he was cutting and hitting at the same time. We have to do this. We got to get out of this colonizer's mindset. I only belong to this group. I only listen to this person, and I only listen to this person. And us in our small corner, we can get our 500 acres and we can build, and that's it. If one succeed, all succeed. Let's start vibrating high. Let's start speaking. Let's start writing. Let's start putting our minds to it. The kingdom, Bantu must arise. We must arise. I did a video last year. Bantu arise, Bantu arise, Isolele arise, Isolele arise, Isolele arise. We can do this. We can make these boundaries, these borders, these prison lines come down. We can put a demand. We could create our own. Let me tell you something. You think these people use their own money to create these airlines and these cruise lines and all these different? I said this before. When those countries came together at the Berlin conference, you think they were friends? They was fighting with one another, killing out one another. They was at war with one another. But you know the one thing they had in common that made them sit down together? Divide and conquer those people. Divide and conquer those people. That's what they had in common. Because when you watch history, the British was fighting against the Portuguese was fighting against the Dutch was fighting against, you understand me? Everybody was fighting against one another. But then, the one thing all of them had in common was the continent of Africa. We need that. So the one thing we should have in common is we need them out. We need our continent back. We need our not just us. We need every mass of land that we was indigenous to, that belonged to us, back. We need to subdue. Watch this. Let's use the same scripture they give us. We need to subdue. I'm talking about just to be fruitful and multiply. We need to now learn how to subdue and take dominion. Somebody, come on. We need to know how to subdue and take dominion. Subdue and take dominion. How do we subdue and take dominion? How do we now use our algorithm, our vibration, our authority, our powers, and stop demonizing the ability to telepath? Stop demonizing the ability to use our spirituality to conquer them like our brothers in Haiti did with Napoleon. Listen to me, they use their spirituality and then they demonize it. All right, I stop. With the help of our ancestors, yes, our righteous ancestors. Yes, with the help of our righteous ancestors. We need to use our spiritual powers to subdue and take dominion. All right. I say nothing else. I'm finished, family. I love you all. How are we ready to take it to the next level? I'm ready. I hear. Even when I saw something, I think my king brother Leo had posted something. I think it's Dr. Mumby had said in terms of the land here in Kenya for sale and stuff like that. We got the power, our words. I don't care how much I read what they do. I counterattack their attack. I use my words to counterattack their attack. They will not subdue. They will not put us back in bondage. They will not cause us to go back into sin. We will not retard. We will not succumb to their injustice anymore. We will not. How many of us are vibrating at that level that we are so militant-minded that anything that they try... Let me tell you something. I saw a video, even with the gates of hell, buying up all of these farmlands to create RNA vegetables and food now, whereas he's going to decamelize food. And we don't understand the power we have. We still ligating and just trying to get a little small corner for ourselves, and that's it. How do we shut it down? Burn it. Shut it down. How? We can let somebody weaponize our food with RNA particles, create seeds with RNA particles inside of it. Because now they realize that they do the GMO, and once you plant the GMO kills the soil. So you only could plant a GMO seed once, and that's it, and it's done. So now they try to figure out another way. They created the RNA seeds. So now you could be eating the RNA. Anyway, I didn't come here for all. I didn't come for all of that. I really didn't. I really didn't come for all of that. I really did. But that's for the Most High. Let us subdue. I'm gonna say this one more time, and I'm going for real this time. Let us subdue and take dominion. You know they put it inside their script. The kingdom suffered violence. What violence did the kingdom suffer? Tell me what violence, which kingdom suffered violence? The kingdom of Africa. This kingdom here on the continent was a whole kingdom, not just East Africa and West Africa and South Africa and Central Africa. The whole continent was a kingdom. The kingdom suffered violence when they came and invade the land. And now we got to take it back by force. By any means, what? Necessary. We got to take it back. What you can do? I ready. I am a warrior. I am a conqueror. Yeah. That's who I am. Back down from nothing. Because guess why? We don't die. We go from life to life. We go from life to life. We don't die. And if that's what you're scared of, then you ain't worthy to live. You ain't worthy. If you scared to die, you scared for this flesh to die, to go back, you ain't worthy to live. I ain't sorry. I was gonna say I'm sorry, but no, I ain't sorry. Truth is truth. Huh? I remember a friend of mine say, when they tell him what he had to go through in terms of the suffering or whatever have you, he break off a run. He said, he don't want to be called to do nothing. Some of us, we just want to ride the wave. Okay, ride the wave. Those in the Bahamas know what riding the wave costing them right now. Anyway, I finished for real. I love you all. May the Most High, Ingai, Sanini Nanini Kuswa Congo, Pongo Talendo, whichever name, Masindisi, whatever name you identify, Hizaya Congo, you identify with. May we continue to run this race. May we replenish. May we subdue. May we subdue. May we subdue and take dominion. They came, they divide, they conquer. Now we need to unite and overthrow. What? We need to unite and overthrow. This ain't the time to play patty cake. No, this ain't the time to play patty cake. This is time to, This is the time, let me say, they give us Joshua and Caleb. This is time for the Joshuas and Calebs to gather the people, the warriors, and let's go in. Take dominion. Love you all. Kimbo, Natin and Zambi, Yamazulu, CME family. Kimbo, Natin and Zambi, Yamazulu, CME family. Much love. I see somebody here saying China. What Chinese come from? What? And Indians are from Ethiopia, Somalia. Listen, let me tell you, everything that we know, that's what they tell us. My question there again is, how did they get the looks that they have? Because everyone we know come out of black. The indigenous people of India, the indigenous people of China, are melanated people. But how did they get their looks? Anyway, I finished with that right there. Much love, family.